I think first I would say try lots of things, change jobs a few times, travel as much as you can, and like just stay curious because there's so much out there. Well, okay, so when I was a kid, I had a few things. Big one was an astronaut, definitely excited about that. Mad scientist was certainly on the list, and inventor is kind of similar to mad scientist. So, in a way, I think I did pull off becoming an inventor of sorts. I've got some ideas that are even being looked at right now as intellectual property. So, I'm not yet an astronaut, but it's still, still holding out hope. One of the things that drew me into architecture was was seeing people actually making things at the school, and the hands-on nature of many of our studio classes was just so invigorating for me. And I still love working with engineers, and I definitely have that kind of bent, but I feel like architecture just was the perfect melding of kind of creativity, art, and design with the kind of engineer's mind. So it's been a really fulfilling path for me. I wanted to run a studio that allowed students to get familiar with processes that they might have never been close to. And that includes working with steel, welding, cutting steel, digitally cutting steel, doing some fabrication processes that they've only maybe seen from afar or kind of experienced the products of. And my idea is that when they get closer to these processes, they're going to become more powerful and innovative designers. They're going to become more competent designers. They're going to be able to control the details of their design in a more nuanced way, hopefully a more interesting way. Well, one of the big things that I'm super excited about right now and just starting to explore is augmented reality. So using, augmented reality goggles or glasses to see our digital models in three-dimensional space. And when you start to think about what you can do when you pair augmented reality with fabrication, you can imagine all kinds of complex arrangements of parts or configurations that you might be able to fabricate very precisely just with your hands and using fairly normative fabrication techniques. So I have a project underway right now that's a continuation of the kirigami space frame system that I designed called Spin Valence. And we're going to look at using augmented reality in order to have very precise folding in place of the parts to create kind of undulating freeform space frame systems. I have to mention my first welding teacher in high school, Mr. Robertson in Batesville High School. He was such an amazing teacher in the shop classes there at Batesville High, and I was lucky enough to even realize that there was a welding class and decide that I wanted to take it, even though that wasn't necessarily something that would normally seem like an option for me. And he was incredibly supportive the first day in class. He looked at the whole class and said, "I'll tell you right now who the best two welders in this class are going to be." And he said, "It's those two young ladies right there." And so I was one of those two. And sure enough, we were really good welders. And he actually would give me projects saw promise in me and would give me projects around the shop while some of the other students were still kind of running beads over and over again and trying to practice. So that was really empowering, and he was such a supportive teacher at a really early age.